Well, hello there. My name is Doug Bilderback, and I am your presenter today. We all recognize that tariffs are a very topical situation, and they are evolving and changing frequently. Please take any tariff rate or value as an example and not as the actual tariff in your situation. So I want to come in here to my tariff company, and I'm going to first pull up a purchase order that we have staged. So we have this purchase order here. We've got 5 different line items on it. Now, we've done a couple customizations in here to help demonstrate this. So we're using the extender product from Orchid to display 2 different optional fields on the individual line item. So on every item, we have assessed what its HTS code is, and then on the vendor, we have identified the country of origin. Now that item optional field is going to inherit from the item setup, but this optional field does not automatically inherit from the vendor record. That will only populate onto the optional field at the header value of the purchase order. However, part of our customization is to automatically pull that down and put that onto the purchase order. So now we know, hey, what's the item, what's the country of origin, what's the HTS code, and then of course, depending upon the code, we have values. We can make a determination of what the quantity is, what the unit cost, what the weight is. All of those are defined here in Sage. So weight, some people use that can be set up in the item master itself, and then when brought onto the purchase order, Sage is just going to do the unit weight times the quantity and determine the extended weight. If I scroll over here, you can kind of see that. Now, one of the other things that we've done in advance is we have a custom table. Whoops, that's the wrong screen here. A custom table, and that is where we've put in the different elements, the code, the country of origin, the tariff rate, and what's the basis of the tariff. So that could be, in our example here, percentage of cost, quantity, or weight. And if we look at the table here, we can have, pop that open. I've got some examples put in here. So our country of origin, Japan, China, Canada, Vietnam, and they all have different tariff rates, and some of them have different drivers, weight or quantity. So we've populated this on the purchase order. I'm going to copy our purchase order number here because the real magic happens at the point of receiving. And if I open up my receipt entry screen here, I can put in my PO number and paste that, and it's of course going to pull up all the information. Now, for the additional cost, well, first of all, I can hit the receive all button. I'm going to receive all my product in. If I was to do a manual proration, I need to put in a vendor number here. And so I've created a fake brokerage house here. I can say tariff code, and it's manually prorated. So I can hit my distribute proration, and I've got to come up with the manual calculations. This works. This part is out of the box, Sage, free. You all have this functionality here today. So you could go in and manually do those calculations and put those amounts in here. However, a lot of people, they've got a a shipping clerk or somebody who may be running around and managing the warehouse, but doesn't know really that much, if anything, about tariffs. So one of the things that can be done is we can do a customization into Sage where we add a little button down here to check the tariff proration. And simply by clicking on it, it's going to add the additional cost, and it's going to look at each of the line items, their HTS codes, their countries of origins, go back to that custom table and calculate what the tariff amount should be, and then automatically fill that all out here in the manual proration. Okay. Now, one of the assumptions on here is that you guys are able to maintain a table similar to this one. Now, this is custom, this is just built with extender, so it's gonna upgrade just fine and all that stuff, but it still requires some manual calculation. If you are in a highly adaptive situation or you've got lots of different products and keeping track of them all is onerous, Avalara does have a subscription service that will basically maintain these rates for you. And so instead of having a custom table that sits inside Sage, we could, instead of calling that table, call their API, dynamically get at that particular moment in time what the rate is for all the different elements of that line and generate this as well. So there's different levels of services that we can help you with and put together as part of this process. But once we've got this on here, you could easily add another additional cost for, say, maybe a different vendor for the actual freight. So I'm just going to put in ship, $300, prorate by weight, and that's great. And when I'm ready, I can post that. Sage is now doing all those calculations onto the receipt. And if I come back and look at my receipt and look at my totals, I can see my total amount there, and I can see here on the vendor, whoops, got to get the right button here. Here are the 2 additional costs that we've recorded on the document. That way we can actually receive invoices from these specific vendors, but it is tied and the valuation has been added to the individual items. Thank you. If you do have further questions, please feel free to email us, either support@equationtech.us, or you can email myself directly at doug@equationtech.us, and we'd be happy to help you answer your questions. If you want to look at doing a customization to track some of this stuff, we would be more than happy to assist you with that as well. Alrighty, I'm going to wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.